So our last bit of purchases for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, well, these actually are going to be our last bit of purchases for the last generation of consoles. And then after that, everything is going to be primarily on current generation. Let's get this video started. Alright, so welcome back to another video, and I already know that we're already getting ready to hit 3 years of being in the current generation consoles lifespan, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X/S, and we still, on a case basis, we still technically play our PlayStation 4 Pro and our Xbox One X just because, I mean, they're just still great consoles because they can still have, they still got the 4K like enhancements, and games actually still look incredibly gorgeous. And a game that I can honestly say is Red Dead Redemption 2, especially on the Xbox One X. If you play that on a 4K TV, that game absolutely looks phenomenal, and it still performs incredibly well on there. And then the same thing goes for the PlayStation 4 Pro as well. Not quite as good as the One X, but Red Dead Redemption 2 still looks incredibly sharp on the PS4 Pro as well, and it also still performs decent overall. But because we're now getting into, SSDs and faster loading times, this is actually something that has been on our minds for basically a little while. Like, it's been like off and on. And honestly, what we're thinking about doing is buying a decent 1 terabyte SSD external for our PlayStation 4 Pro and our Xbox One X. And then once we get those, so we can get maybe slightly faster loading times on some nice last generation games, then after that, I just think that for the future, starting in 2024, we're just going to permanently stick to current gen with the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, because even then, we still got to get storage for both of those consoles, and it's insane for how much that the pricing is for storage for the current gen. So that's honestly why we're going to go on ahead, get an SSD, probably most likely a 1 terabyte, so we can, have decent faster loading times on some last generation incredible games to play on there. And then after that, we're sticking to the current generation, and then we're going to also get more storage for it. But yeah, it's just insane with how expensive that the SSDs are still, even though they're dropping right now in prices, and there's even more options, especially for the Sony PlayStation 5. They're still outrageous. They're still like a 1 terabyte for like 135 or 150 to going up near $200, and then you have to, I don't know, some of them I think come with a heatsink and some don't, and all of that. So even then, prices are still outrageous, but we still like to play on our PS4 Pro and One X quite often, off and on. So I just think that, maybe we'll actually get a 1 terabyte SSD for these consoles and make it our last bit of purchase for the last gen. So honestly, yeah, I think that's what we're going to do, because including Red Dead Redemption 1, which if you heard about the news and you watched our video about that game getting ported, not remastered, not remade, like nothing, just the simple PlayStation 3 port getting ported to PlayStation 4, not PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X and S, just the PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Switch, which it still amazes a lot of us how Rockstar was a good company and now all of a sudden that, they're just now doing the worst things ever than probably most developers do. But alongside all that, so Red Dead Redemption 1 is going to be coming to the PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Switch. So if you stay tuned in for our channel, if you're new to this channel, be sure to subscribe and you could stay tuned in and keep on a lookout for our review for the game running on the PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch, because we do have 2 reviews of Red Dead Redemption 1's port coming to the PS4 and Nintendo Switch. We're going to play it on the PS4 Pro, and then we're definitely going to play it on the Switch, and we're going to even check it out on dock and even handheld, and it's going to be exciting and something to look forward to, especially the Nintendo Switch. Like, we have never had a great Rockstar game ever for the Switch, and now with the first Red Dead Redemption, a lot of Nintendo fans got something really nice to look forward to. But the PlayStation 4 is just where it kind of feels a bit strange and a bit funky, because there's like no remaster, no like remade to it or nothing. I mean, yes, it's going to have slightly just cleaner visuals and whatnot, but when you look at the big picture, like the main visuals like themselves, it's literally just the PlayStation 3 game, just literally copied onto a disc or a new file size and just being it called PlayStation 4. That's literally all they did. Double 11 did. But with all of that, yeah, I think that we're going to buy one more thing for our previous generation consoles. We're probably, like I stated, we're going to look at for an external 1TB SSD that has decent speeds. And then after that, I honestly think we're going to have to call it. We're going to have to call it on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and no longer buy stuff for this. No longer buy games, accessories. Well, games won't be available probably by that time anyway. We're already starting to see games slowly only coming to current generation, and it's really, really good. And then by 2024, a large majority of developers are only going to focus on making the games current gen. So I think this is going to be our last bit of stuff for our previous generation. I know it might sound stupid, but we still like playing on our PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, and I think, like we mentioned, we're going to look into getting a 1TB SSD, and then we'll have an SSD at least to an extent to play some of the awesome, wonderful games on the previous generation of consoles, because we actually do have like a lot of them. So we're not able to fit all of these games like on a Xbox Series X or PlayStation 5, even with newer games coming out that are taking up way more spaces. So yeah, so I know people in the comments are going to be like, oh, that's stupid, but when you think about it, we're getting like games that are like taking up a lot of space, especially Call of Duty, and then better yet, even the storage for the consoles are still insanely expensive. So why not just get a freaking 1TB external SSD to play on their mid-generation refreshes of the Xbox One and PS4 and still get 4K and even feeling like a next-gen gaming experience with having those SSDs. So, and being cheaper, so why not? So I think that's what we're going to do. This is going to be our last bit of content and purchases that we're going to be getting for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. But also, without further ado, like I stated, if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button and be sure to stay on the lookout for our Red Dead Redemption review for both the PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch, both separate videos of reviews that we're going to be doing. So you got 2 Red Dead Redemption review videos to look forward to in just a few days when the game does launch for those consoles. But without further ado, this is Tech and Gaming Reviews. hope you all enjoyed it. And hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and send us a comment down in the comment section, which I already know some of you are just going to be like, oh, you're stupid for doing that, and whatever. I can already tell. But, hey, it's what we do. It's our money. We're going to do what we want. So, but without further ado, this is Tech and Gaming Reviews. I hope you enjoyed the video. Rate, comment, subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Peace.